fine man, Reginald Johnson.
That'd be me, ladies.
Now, if you weren't keeping up by now, both Reginald Johnson and I were dead in hell together. He was Satan.
Actually,
I'll tell you all the stories of Magnolia Benadryl one day, child.
Hey, just don't ask.
Hey, just really
no questions, please.
So there I was, in Hades, awful hot down there. Gives me the vapors every day. I was bouncing about as a lady does between social circles. I was talking to furies and harpies, and I was playing with that big old doll with 3 hands. But then I decided, you know what? I need to take a trip back to my boudoir on Earth for one last thing. So I went to the boatman. I paid him my 2 pennies, and I went across that big old river and back to my boudoir on Earth. However, I did look like a skeleton walking around in people clothes, so that was a little awkward on the train.
Scary skeleton.
So I get back to my boudoir, and I open it, and what do I see with my skeleton eyes? But nothing. Nothing in my boudoir but a couple spider webs and a dormouse. I say, wah, 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 wah. Where has my engagement ring to Reginald Johnson gone? I was not wearing it when I died, and it was in my boudoir.
Well?
What next, Magnolia?
I simply couldn't believe it. Who had taken my engagement ring? It could not have been Reginald Johnson, for he was also in hell. It must have been one of my past lovers. I traveled all over the land. The north, the south, the west. No, I just came back to... Were you following what I was saying?
confused.
I came back to Earth to check my boudoir for my engagement ring with
How do you
Reginald
get out of hell?
I paid the
2 cents to the boatman.
I paid the boatman 2 pennies to get across the river.
It's 2 hay pennies, thank you very much.
Shut your mouth. I traveled all across the land, north and south, east and west. I met with Robert E. Lee and Abraham Lincoln and Jefferson Davis and Ulysses S. Grant. But none of them had my ring. Some of them were dead, with a bullet in their head. I, of course, am referring to Jefferson Davis. So, I went to the only past lover that I had never talked to since the day we broke it off.
The only lover I did never talk to. Yeah.
You see, way back in the day, when I was just a youngin', Reginald Johnson was just a youngin' too, and he was found foxing in the grass with a particular little lady. If you do recall from the first days of Magnolia Benadryl. Now, this little lady was named Angelica Doobadoo-Babadoo. Doobadoo-Babadoo, you see, is a mixture between French and Aborigine. Coming back? You see, she had been caught foxing in the grass with Reginald Johnson, and I, of course, if you recall, did not blame him at all, for Reginald Johnson could not say no to a lady. So I went back to French Australia to find the Doobadoo-Babadoos.
I'll just leave afterwards.
And that wretched girl, Angelica Doobadoo-Babadoo. Excuse me? All right, so I went back to French Australia, and I tracked down Mama Doobabadoo. But I asked her about Angelica, and she said, why, Angelica Doobabadoo? Of course, she said this in a French Aborigine accent. Angelica Doobabadoo died 40 years ago, and now resides in purgatory. I said, she said, no, it's pronounced Doobabadoo.
I thought it was Doobadoo.
Shut up. I knew one way to get to purgatory from my home, hell. You see, I went back to hell. I paid that boatman 2 pennies. I went back and I would like to think of myself as a literate lady. I've read the classics, and one classic I've read is Dante's Inferno. You see, in Dante's Inferno, he crawls through Satan's belly button in order to get to purgatory. So I knew just who to call about that one. Oh, Reginald, I said. Reginald Johnson, I have one last sexual favor to ask of you. I would like to perform some belly button play. Shh, I'm telling a story, child. I would like to try some belly button play. And so, since he is Reginald Johnson, he simply could not say no to a lady. And so, we got down to it. And let me tell you, even in hell, he is divine. We were taking our clothes. We were foxing in some grass, if you take my meaning. And all of a sudden I say, "Why, Reginald, I would like to take a peek at that fine little belly button of yours." He obliged me, of course, and then I shoved my hands straight into his belly button. Shut up!
You're ruining the story!
I plunged my hands straight into that man's belly button. He said, "Ah!" I said, "Shh, it's okay. I need to do this, trust me." As I plunged my hands, one still waving, which made it very uncomfortable for him, deeper and deeper into his belly button, I crawled through like some sort of nematode being birthed from an egg that looks like Reginald Johnson's belly button.
I've been doing this my life.
I crawl through, and all of a sudden I look around. Purgatory? That's strange. It looks oddly like, why, Atlanta, Georgia. Spooky, scary skeleton! I'm walking through the streets of Atlanta, Georgia, Purgatory, and I'm saying hello to all the gentlemen and ladies walking around, and I say, "Hello, have you seen Angelica Dubabadoo lately? For I am looking for her. I believe she has something that belongs to me." They all said, "Why, Angelica Dubabadoo? She was arrested in Purgatory, which you would think would send you to hell, but I don't know. She was arrested for breaking and entering a lady's boudoir." I said, "I knew it! I said, I knew it! I knew she was a breaker and enterer. I bet she stole that lady's engagement ring too." They said, "Oh no, they stole more than that lady's engagement ring. They stole that lady's life." I said, "I must find this jail, and I must go talk to Angelica Dubabadoo and ask her what she did with my engagement ring to Reginald Johnson." So I found that county prison. I walked past that constable. He tried to stop me, but I said, "No, sir, I'm a lady on a mission." Also, I looked like a skeleton, so it kind of spooked him a little. I'm not going to look backwards. I walked straight in that prison. I walked straight up to Angelica Dubabadoo's cell.
Still inside Reginald Johnson?
It's purgatory. It's purgatory.
Which is inside Reginald Johnson?
No, it's just his belly button's a portal through to purgatory. You know. I walked straight up to Angelica Dubabadoo's cell, and I said, "Angelica Dubabadoo, I haven't seen you in a very long time." She said, "Magnolia Benadryl. It's been not long enough." I said, "Angelica!" I said, "Angelica! I know you foxed in the grass with Reginald Johnson, and I do not blame him for that, I blame you. And I know you stole my engagement ring from me, and I do not blame me, I blame you. And I know you stole that lady's life, I do not blame her, I blame you, Angelica Dubabadoo. You are the wrecker of lives. You are the terror apart of homes. You are the stealer of engagement rings. Now tell me where mine is, you ragged-haired hag." She said, "Why, Magnolia, there's no need to be so rude to me here.